Hey, so hello everyone. We'd like to welcome you to our webinar about the high quality customer experience in 4 steps. Today we'll be talking to you about that both with Kasia. So maybe Kasia, you introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Katarzyna Widuto. I'm at Salesforce for 3 years, and I'm responsible for sales in Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Crafter, for invitation.
Thank you, Kasia, for joining us. And I'm Marek Ceglarz, Salesforce consultant at Craftware, working with Salesforce technology for almost 4 years already. And yeah, both with Kasia, we'll talk to you today about the customer experience. So I guess that it's good time to hide, to turn off the cameras, and yeah, let's focus on the topic and on the presentation. So how we will navigate through the agenda today. Sorry for the animation, something happened like always when we are live. So we'll start with the new normality, the world that we are living in currently, the pandemic world, and the changes according to that situation. And then we will jump to customer life cycle and differences between B2B and B2C. Then what is customer experience in general, and the main topic of our presentation, which is 4 steps to build a high quality customer experience. At the very end, we'll leave you with three takeaways after that presentation, the key points. So yeah, Kasia, you give us the intro?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I would like to talk a bit why we are doing this webinar, why we are organizing a webinar around the centricity around your customer. It's not because of COVID only. Of course, it's important, but Salesforce is doing plenty of research, which we are sharing with everyone who is interested in. You can find them on the website. And one of the research named State of Connected Customer, it was done in June 2019, says that 84% of customers claim that interaction with the organization is as important as its product or a service. And we see increase from 2018, and that number is growing all the time. So it's close to everyone, actually. It's close to every of your customer who is saying that the way you are talking to them is very important. Marek, next slide. And how did COVID actually change our buying habits? Well, first of all, only in CE, there were 12 million new users of online services, and that's a lot. Worldwide, there was an increase of 20% in e-commerce. In CE, in comparison, increase was 15%. All those numbers we see here. So 40% in increase in and an increase in the number of new customers buying online. Then 15% increase, the average increase of online movement, and 5% increase in how much money you are spending. An interesting fact here is that once you have your loyal customer who is buying online, the average spending is decreasing, but they're coming more often to you to buy. So the frequency of the buying is increasing. And the most popular communication channels used by customers are, well, 2 main, they don't change. It's email and phone. Facebook and LinkedIn is growing very fast, and it's taking 83%. And only 25% of shop owners, they have implemented or thinking about implementation of chatbots or bots. More and more we are seeing customers using self-service. I know that in our region especially, not everyone is mentally ready to use self-service, but this is something that is coming worldwide, and I think maybe in a year or 2, it will be very popular in our region as well.
All of those new possibilities, all of the new approaches that are across the market, developed the new techniques and basically the confusion of terms. So we would like to straight up the dictionary that we'll use today. So let's start with what is what. And the first confusion that we pretty often see at clients' companies is the difference the difference between CRM and ERP. So as you probably know, CRM is customer relationship management, and ERP is enterprise resource planning. And those two topics have especially dedicated tools to manage those areas. And today we will be focusing more on CRM. So as I said, customer relationship management, the tools that are basically the front of operation between the company and the client, where we can register all of the activities, all of the contact and information about the cooperation with the client, not maybe about the resources that we have, the prices, the offers, the resources in the warehouses, and so on and so forth. Of course, the data from ERP can be used in CRM to give the context to the sales rep, for instance, and to make his work easier, to provide him with all the data that's needed in his work. But anyway, the CRM, in our belief, should be the tool that is in use by the people who are facing the client. Then we've got the marketing automation. So all of the services and tools that will provide us with possibility of automation of our work, especially in the marketing department. But of course, the marketing department cooperates pretty close with sales departments, as well as with post-sales service. But it's pretty important to provide them with the tools that can help to automate their work and the marketing across all of the channels. And when we talk about the channels, the omni-channel approach is appearing, because previously we were talking about the multi-channel, the approach in which we will provide the clients with tools that can be used in different communication channels, but usually they were not integrated. But in omni-channel approach, all of the tools, all of the ways, the gates of contact that we provide clients with are totally integrated, and according to that integration, we are able to provide clients with the highest possible level of service of customer experience. And last but not least, mentioned customer experience. Interesting fact is that there is a lot of definitions of customer experience, more business-wise, more technique-wise. But what I would like to say when we are talking about the customer experience is that it's built in organization across the whole life cycle of a client, on every level, on every step that the clients are cooperating with the brand. And yeah, when we are competing on such huge markets like the Baltic countries, like Sweden, like Poland, we have to ensure that will stand out from the competition with the customer satisfaction level. So that's the key point here. Yeah, so why actually we need to take care of the customer experience? What for do we need it? 86% of respondents in the study declared that they will pay more when the customer experience will be better. So yeah, we can easily earn more. Then 72% of respondents promise that they will share the positive experience, but we have to remember that according to the study, they will share it only with 5-6 people. On the other hand, 13% of respondents declared that they will share the negative experience, but in that case, they will share it with 15 people and more. So yeah, we can gain a lot, but as well we can lose a lot, because 67% of the respondents declared that if they will experience poor level of the cooperation with the company, the low level customer experience, they will resign from further interactions with the brand, with the company. So they will simply churn. Yeah, so now let's get to the point and to the 4 steps how to take care of the customer experience and to avoid churn, to increase the revenue. And yeah, Kasia will introduce us to the first step.
Yeah, so first step usually is how to attract new customers, how to make sure that they know about you, that you are visible. And we called it reach potential customers. Be present online, actually. The first thing we do usually when we want to buy a new product, or we are thinking it's from B2C world, but in B2B as well, if we are thinking about new solution to our company, we are doing either research in Google, either we are going to the website of the company we have in mind. You have to make sure that the content on your website is relevant. All of you, I believe, you are an experts in the field you are working. And if you put the right content on the website, then prospects, customers, they want to stay on your website and they want to spend time. But that content, it doesn't have to be free, but of course, paid not with money. So what you can ask in exchange of the content, you can ask for contact details of your customers, the information you need about them, as potential buyers. You can leave landing pages and forms to be filled. This is how we know who is visiting your web page, and what is more important, what was the interest, what exact product was within the interest. Then, Mark, next slide, please. Then, yeah, so this is the forms we are talking about. An example is from our Salesforce website. When you want to download, for example, I don't know, some statistics or something, you have to leave the contact details if you want to have access to those documents. Then very important is segmentation and personalization. Divide your customers into groups and personalize your message for each of those groups. Those forms we have mentioned before, they can be dynamic and progressive. Let's say someone wants to download a white paper on your website. So firstly, you have to ask them for name, surname, maybe email. Then if he's coming back next day, ask him for industry or phone number or his role in the company. So this is how you are making sure that you are filling your CRM with the data you need in the later steps of the sales cycle. Another way of personalization are emails. Make sure you adapt an email to its receiver using previously collected data about him, like name, simple, but for example, earlier searched or bought products as well. And why we say it is important, it is not us who actually says that. 86% of marketers have noticed that there is a direct impact of personalization on the number of generated leads. And then 92% of respondents says that personalization is a very good way to build brand awareness around the brand. And even in today's world, number of leads you are generating, it helps your growth. Then next, automate marketing operations. Of course, you can do it manually, but it takes time, and especially when company is scaling, time is very, very valuable asset. We advise creating customer paths, and based on your prospect interaction with your brand, you can change next action. So let's say he didn't open an email. You can send a reminder of invitation to a webinar. If he registered and attended the webinar, then automate maybe follow-up process. Marek, yeah, next. So as an example, you can see here how Salesforce suggests doing customer paths. The way I explained a little bit that, you know, you have group of customers, a group of prospects you want to invite to a specific webinar, let's say, or an event, even face-to-face event. You are sending invitations, and then if he clicked on the invitation but didn't register, you can send another email, maybe more information about webinar. If he clicked and registered, then of course you are skipping second email. You don't want to be seen as a spam sender in customers or prospects' eyes. And what is very important as well, score and grade your customers. Of course, you have your ideal customer. Maybe ideal customer is coming from specific industry, or you want to talk only to chief marketing officers. Whatever it is, tell yourself who is your ideal customer and put them an A grade. And then scoring, so based on their interaction with your brand, with your company, put scores to them. So let's say he opened an email, you are giving 20, he registered, he went to webinar, you're giving another 20 points. And this is how you know that as the more points they get, the more they are interested in you. Marek, I think you can go to second step.
Yeah. Thank you, Kasia. So we smoothly went through the marketing part. So maybe let's jump to the sales part, or say sales connected part. So the sales, so that customers would like to get back to you. And the first step to make them come back is to build relationship despite limitation, especially in the world that we are currently live in. So as you've seen in the first question of our quiz, unfortunately only the one that you said that you've seen is that clients expect you to be an expert, not a sales rep. So we have to change our behavior a little, be an expert and a consultant. On the other hand, in that consultancy, use alternative forms of contact. And I mean, not only email, not only SMS, not only social media, but other communicators as well, like Facebook Messenger, like WhatsApp, like actually all of these sources of communication that your clients are using. Then focus on what's important. So basically determine qualification criteria for sales, and then cooperate with other departments and qualify leads. So just focus on the clients that are basically close to the decision of purchase. Focus on the leads that are worth to invest your time and the team in the cooperation. How you can do it? You can do it simply by qualifying the leads. At first with the engagement paths that Kasia showed, then with, for instance, qualification based on band, for instance, like budget, authority, the need and timeline that clients present you in their project or in their purchase process. And then you can segment and sort those leads and focus on the things that are really important and close to the decision. Then implement the best solutions and practices. So you already know what you should focus on. Then establish standards and best practice across the process, and monitor and reward following these standards and best practice. The easiest way to do it is to have it in a system, is to provide your sales rep with the stages of the process that they will follow, the steps that they have fulfilled, and it can be driven by the pipelines, the lead pipeline, the opportunity pipeline, in general, the sales pipeline. Connected with the type of sales that you have, with the types of products, with the types of markets, clients, so on and so forth. So you can build multiple pipelines, like prepared for the special use case connected with the way of your work. Kasia at the very beginning mentioned the statistics in the global approach, but now I would like to focus more on the areas that are connected to today's event. So maybe let's have a look on Sweden and Estonia. So the average Swede buys 35% more online during the COVID in the COVID times than before. And the 34% of Estonian internet users rated their online shopping expenses as increased. So it's like relevant with the global data and the markets that we have on aimed day are also growing. So it's worth to take part in that growth and to have a little more revenue because of that. As about the product categories with the highest sales in global approach and on the Swedish market, the highest growth are in clothes and shoes area, games and toys, and household goods. So we can easily guess that it's pretty connected with the lockdown and with working remotely, staying at home and spending more time at home. And those percentages are pretty high, as you can see. The global is the blue one, and the orange one is a Swedish market. Jumping to the last statistics, product categories with the highest sales in Baltics. Here the numbers are a bit different and the categories are a bit different. Clothing is still pretty good. Rental and reservation services, something different than the global data and Swedish market. And what's really interesting, airline tickets. When we've been preparing to this webinar and discussing it, our guess was that the airline tickets can be connected with getting home from Baltics somewhere else in Europe or in the world, or getting back to home to Baltics from somewhere else. If you have some different thoughts, it's much appreciated if you share it also in chat in chat area on the right hand side of the meeting. Yeah, maybe you know why it's the percentage of the growth in that categories is so high because of COVID. Right, so let's jump into the step 3, Kasia.
Yeah, so step 3 is take care of customer service. Once your marketing department managed to brought you a prospect, a lead, your sales department sold the product. It's your responsibility to make sure that customer is happy, he stays with you, he is returning customer, or he is referring your product or your company to his friend. Bad after sales experience can ruin all marketing and sales efforts. We advise our customers to use as many communication channels as possible. Give your customer the right to choose. We have mentioned before standard communication channels like email, phone, Facebook is already becoming standard as well, LinkedIn, but those chats or even WhatsApp, it's becoming more and more popular. But then, very important thing, you have to integrate those communication channels between each other. I have a story to share. Usually when I'm talking to prospects, I'm checking how the customer service department works, and I'm opening the same case, like I have the one question and I'm sending it across all possible communication channels. And usually, first of all, I'm getting response across all of the channels, not only via one, which is the faster. And secondly, it happens not once that the answers are different. So this is why you have to make sure that all those communication channels are connected to each other. And you can manage in Salesforce, you can easily manage it in dashboards to see how many cases your customers are opening in email. Maybe there is a website form, maybe phone, and so on. And then you can see actually, no, back, Marek.
Sorry,
You can track the data. Yeah, you can track the data, and based on that, you can make some business decisions. Everyone knows, I believe, that email and phone, they are the most expensive channels. Web form is quite cheap way to manage support cases. So why, if for example your customers are not using web form, why not to create some marketing campaign and to put some effort to push your customers into serving themselves or putting cases across web form. Next, please. Yes. Then make sure your agents, they know your customer. There's nothing more frustrating when you are calling a company and you have to repeat who you are, where are you based, why are you calling, what's the case, what product do you have, how long you are the customer, and so on. The simple, the easy, the standard way to make sure that your agent knows the customer is to connect CRM with ERP or billing platform solution, whatever it is you're as core information system, to make sure that your agent sees that information. And then categorize your customers. If, for example, not if, I believe every one of you have VIP customers who are bringing you the most revenue. Maybe that would be a good idea to have 1, 2, 3 service agents who are personal assistants to those companies, to those customers. Next. Simplify customer service as much as possible. Again, you can group your customers and introduce different service levels. Why I'm talking about simplify customer service as much as possible, even that website form. If there will be plenty fields to fill in, nobody will want to use it. It has to be easy to contact you if someone has questions. SLAs, milestones, and similar stuff, let's call it like this, that gives expectations to both sides. Your agent on how fast he has to work on the case, and your customer as well on how fast he can expect the resolution of first response as well. Next. Yeah, the window disappears, but this is the window actually which shows how at Salesforce the one window of customer agent looks like. So in one window, he actually can see all the information about the case, the historical case, maybe the contact details of this customer, the procurement purchasing history. Then in the middle, he sees all information related to this particular case. Maybe there is a work order needed to be created. And on the right-hand side, he sees the knowledge which helps him to solve the issue much faster. I think on the customer service, that was the last one.
Yep. Thank you, Kasia. And last but not least, we recommend building loyalty. But have to remember that first things go first. So the recommendation of building the marketing processes of creating an order in sales and providing the best customer experience are the basis for building the loyalty. And when we talk about building the loyalty, I would like to recommend you to start with the community around the brand. And for instance, creating online space to exchange knowledge and mutual support for customers. It can be like the Facebook group. It can be the forum. It can be the loyalty platform with the spaces for discussion. Even when you use Salesforce, for instance, you can build it on the same platform that your marketing, that your sales and service agents are working, and all of the context that your clients are sharing and building on the community will be still connected with the record of the client in database that all of the employees from previously mentioned departments are working on. It will be like same really vast and huge database with context about the client from actually every stage of the client life cycle. The second step will be taking care of the commerce and mobile channels. So strongly believe that probably a lot of attendees, a lot of participants of today's event are already present on e-commerce. But if not, we strongly recommend it as the customers decide how and through what channel they contact the brand to order something or solve an issue. And yeah, our job is to provide them with possibility of using the channel that's the most comfortable for them. And as Kasia said in the very beginning, our job is also to make sure that the information that client will receive will be consistent despite of the channel that he would choose. And here is the example of the dashboard about the performance of a storefront based on B2B commerce provided by Salesforce. So all of the purchases, all of the orders with statuses jump straight into the record of our client under the company and contact that made the order. And yeah, we have the whole information that can be used as a context for the meeting by the sales rep, that can be used to easier manage the case order to the service department, and that can be used for building the marketing campaign for upsell or cross-sell. Actually, here basically the sky's the limit, and we can manage almost all of the business cases that you can imagine, and are based on the data that is stored in the one platform. Yeah, so when all of those things are in place, the good way of further development of the loyalty of the client in general is to build the loyalty program in which you'll appreciate loyal customers and ambassadors with better discounts, with better margins for your partners, for instance, and also where you can use gamification to motivate them even to even better performance and even bigger engagement. Yeah, so Kasia, maybe you'll wrap up all the information that we've just shared.
Yeah, sure. So we briefly discussed 4 steps around how to make sure that the customer is coming to you. So marketing, reaching potential customers. Then second, sell. So they would like to get back to you. It's around sales process. Third is around support process, take care of your customer service. And fourth, once you have invested a lot of money and a lot of resources to make sure that you have that customer, build loyalty with your brand. And that would be it. Are there any questions from the attendees?
Let me check the chat. Okay, I can see a few things. Guys, if anyone else would like to answer the question, please put it into the chat area on the right hand side. I can see the question. We've seen a lot of screenshots. What are those systems? Kasia, would you like to answer the question?
Yeah, sure.
To respond to the question, sorry.
Yes. So all of those screenshots, they were taken from Salesforce. And at the beginning, we were sharing screenshots from Salesforce marketing automation tool. It's called Pardot. Then secondly, it was sales automation tool. It's Sales Cloud, so the core of CRM. Then third one, Service Cloud, customer support automation. And these were the 3 areas actually we were trying to focus on. And the last one was B2B commerce.
Okay, great. Other question that pops out a few times. Where to start? A few things were touched in which we should start. So maybe I'll try to I'll try to give you the info on that one. Well, it depends. It depends where you are currently, because a lot of companies have, for instance, pretty good care of the sales process and the customer support process, but they basically do not exist in e-commerce. They do not have any marketing campaigns and any activities in the marketing area. On the other hand, there are companies who are great at the marketing, great at generating new leads and new customers, but then as soon as someone buys and then purchases the product or service, here is the place where problem starts, and the customer care is not a very good and sufficient. So it depends, and we'll be more than happy to discuss it with you, like in person, on one-to-one meeting. And as soon as we'll discuss how you perform and where you are currently, we'll be able to answer where you should start to improve the CX.
Yeah, and I would like to comment on that as well, if I can, Marek.
Yeah.
So I very much agree with what Marek said, but then again, I want to emphasize that there is no area which is not important anymore. Previously, there was situation that customer support was overlooked, and I even had a call a couple of weeks ago with one of the companies. It's a startup, but it's growing very fast. And when we tried to ask them about how the customer support is working, the answer was that it doesn't matter for them. The customer support, it doesn't matter. The most important thing for them is growth and signing contracts. But then, you know, you are investing a lot of money in those contracts, and if customer will not be served in the right way, he will go away. He will go away to your competitor. So yes, growth is important, but again, you have to make sure that your customer stays with you.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into the 3 takeaways, and we'll be finishing as we are running out of time. So yeah, Kasia.
So yeah, so if you were listening not very carefully, there are 3 main takeaways actually from this webinar we want you to remember. First, if as a B2B organization you do not operate online yet, it is not too late, but soon it will be. You have to, even, you know, COVID is accelerating things, I think. Secondly, customer experience is the sum of all contact points between a customer and your organization. Take care of each one of them. Audit, then improve if there's something to be improved and develop. And third, operate step by step, one thing at a time. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. I hope it was valuable for you. It was a pleasure, and if you will have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact either me or Marek, and we will do our best to help you.
Yep, thank you very much, and yep, talk to you soon. Bye.